Howdy friends, welcome back to the show. In today's video we're on location at a customer's home and we've got the call that it's an elderly lady and she's having a hard time turning on and off a shower. We'll go and we'll take a look and we'll see what we're up against. I'll see you inside. It's like an old Moen valve. Alrighty. We want to head outside and turn the water off. There are people living here, so we can't do a lot of talking. Let's take this apart and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's hard for an older person to pull and push this valve on. It's an old 1225 Moen valve. See, it's got some tension to it. You have to kind of wiggle it back and forth to get it out. When you don't have a lot of strength in your hands and stuff, it becomes a real pain. So we're going to take this assembly out and see if we can remove that cartridge from there. All right, let's take this cap off here. Got a Phillips head screwdriver. Take that screw off there. Nice and easy. We don't want to break that screw off. Then we'll have a lot of problems on our hands. Okay, and off with the handle. Next thing we're going to do is remove the barrel. Right there is our little pin clip that's got to come off there. Before we pull that clip out of there, I put a towel down here just in case this thing gets out of my hands and it falls and it don't land in the drain. It's a safety net. Got ourselves a little pick. See that? Take a little horseshoe clip out of there, put it aside. Now we got to get our Moen cartridge puller and get this baby out of here. Here is my original Moen cartridge puller. You can buy these, but they're not going to be the same quality as when I bought this. I've had this thing for over 20 years. A lot of the new ones are made out of cast aluminum. This is real steel. All right, and I've heard a lot of people say they bought these and end up breaking them. Well, I put this thing to the toughest of everything I have, and it's still working to this day. Let's go ahead and line it up on there. Screw that down a little bit just so it gets to a point. Like right there. And then we're going to screw this in, which is going to go into the middle of the stem of that cartridge. Like so. Get a pair of channel locks and start tightening that thing down so we can extract that cartridge. Alright, nice and easy. Take your time. Alright, looks like we got it ready. Time, nice and slow. Bring it out. There she comes. All in one piece. Just like that. See how nice that was? That's a Moen 1225 push and pull tub shower cartridge. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to look up inside of there real close and make sure that there's no debris that's going to be causing an obstruction before we put our new cartridge back in. That really looks pretty good. Now, a lot of times there'll be a little chunk of rubber or something from the old cartridge in there, or there's some calcium buildup. If that's the case, just try to pull a pick and pull it out of there, or use a soft wire brush to kind of clean it up. Be nice and easy. You don't want to gouge the inside of this brass because you'll create a void and you'll have a leak. All right, let's get the new cartridge ready. Our new replacement Moen 1225 cartridge, the old style push and pull. Let's go ahead and pull that out of there. What you're going to do is we're going to take that little white piece off right now. I'll let you know what that's for. Now these things do come kind of pre-greased from the factory, but we have some good old plumber's grease right there, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to generously put it around all of the rubber gaskets and seals that are on there, the top, bottom, and around the area in the middle there with the two holes. Good old plumber's grease right there. We want that grease around the rubber seals. That way this thing's going to slide in nice. There's not going to be any problems. I'm wearing a pair of gloves. That way I keep my hands clean. You can see how I'm doing all that. Now on these particular cartridges, unlike the 1222, which is PosiTemp, you put it in there, there is no place on there that says hot or cold. Now, if it's in the wrong position, after you install this, you don't need to take the thing back out. You can simply just turn the middle spindle 180 degrees, and that'll change it over without having to actually pull the cartridge back out and reverse sides. Let's go ahead and install this. Now, when we install this, you can see the two half moons. There's one on both sides. You want that to be in that position with the moons on the bottom and the top, kind of like this. Watch. All right, here we go. We're going to push in by hand first so it gets to a point. See how the moons are at the top and the bottom. Let's go back to that little piece that came with it. This is going to help push this thing all the way in like that. Now all we have to do is take that little clip and put it back in there where it came out from. Nice and easy, take your time. Nobody's in a rush here. Okay. There it is, see? Now at this point, what you can do is you want to make sure that the inside little feet go all the way through. Sometimes you can finagle that. A pair of channel locks, maybe kind of tap it down. See, there it is. It's seated all the way down through there. Now it's locked into place. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the barrel back on, and we're going to gently set the handle into place, but we don't know if that's set in the hot side and the cold side, or we need to reverse that. So I'm going to go outside, turn the water back on, and then we're going to test and see what we got. That thing's tough. There we go. Get it all the way on. All right, water's back on. Let's go ahead and let's put our little barrel back into place. And I also have a little ring, that's a little spacer ring that sits on the middle stem right there for the handle. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take and just place the handle on there and find out if we have the hot on the left and the cold on the right. Just kind of get that in there. We're not going to tighten it down because we don't know what we're at yet. We're going to pull this on. Perfect, we got it right the first time. The hot is on the left. Now, if we had an issue where it was reversed around, all we'd have to do is simply take the screw back off with the handle and take and flip this 180 degrees and put it back together, and that would change and would correct the problem of it either be on the hot or the cold side correctly. But we got it right the first time, so we're going to go ahead and reassemble this as well. Put our handle on there and we should be done with this job. Nice. And remember, the whole deal about this was it was hard to pull this on and off. Ooh, just like butter. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching the video. You guys have seen me do this kind of video before in the past. The reason why I wanted to do it again is because I have a lot of new traffic coming onto this channel lately, and I wanted to show you how easy this can be. For some of you guys might have missed it the last time. It's not always that easy getting those cartridges out. I've had them break in half inside, and what turns out from a 20-minute job can be a 2-hour job. Just take your time and use patience and have the right tools. Got any comments or questions, leave them down below, and don't forget to keep plumbing.